Hello everybody, I'm Raphael Perry and it's time for some more Bloodsword. Now, I'm going to read the last section, but I'm going to skip over the healing mechanics because we applied that last time. The cottagers have an archaic way of speaking, but welcome you openly enough. Soon you are sitting before the village elders, where you are given food and medicines to heal your wounds. You can use these medicines now or later. The villagers show no surprise when you tell them about the black-masked riders. "Thus the way of things is, here now in these latter days," says one of the elders in a wistful, lilting voice. "We must endure our lot, as the legends say, for in the half-side tales of old it is foretold that not until the statue of Our Lady of Time is taken from Black-ridden Castle up there on the bleak fells will the rule of the Black Riders be ended. What mortal, even a hero of myth, would brave the dangers that lie between us and the statue, the sleeping giant Snorid, and the flint-hearted wadwass that infect the castle? Not for our poor sakes, I think." "Oh, do not be too sure," you reply. "What if the hero's interests coincide with your own after all? But continue. What more can you say about the giant and the guardians of the castle?" He tells you that Snorid lies across the path into the hills. Nearby, a witch set a pile of boots whose tread would wake him, so that any traveller who takes a pair of fine new boots from this pile is sure to meet a sticky end very soon after. The castle itself is the den of ogres who daily defile the holy image of the Lady of Time. It seems that only the holy powder entrusted to the village elders will protect you from becoming part of the contents of the ogre's larder. You surprise the elders by asking for some of the powder. "None before has come who would dare to venture into the castle," one says, handing over some of the powder wrapped in a dock leaf. "Cast it at their faces, and they will choke on it as wholesome beasts would choke on a poison." After thanking the villagers for their hospitality, you set out towards the range of hills you can see beyond the forest. With our holy powder safely in our possession, we continue on our way. You set off up a steep path that leads over the low foothills towards the bleak fell in front of you. You struggle on upwards over the increasingly rocky path for an hour or so, hoping fervently that the time you spend here will not also be passing back in Spyte. It literally won't, because the two times aren't, moving simultaneously. It's even almost like Narnia, where time spent in Narnia is much shorter in the real world. Or even not at all. At last you come to a spot where the path seems to peter out. A grey patch of moorland stretches between you and the next rise. Beside the end of the path there is a large pile of shoes. You see heavy travelling boots, clogs, and armoured shoes. Although some have been here so long they have mouldered away in the open air, others at the top of the pile are almost new. Ruefully you look down at your own boots, which have become rather worn in the many months of adventuring on your way to Spyte. We could exchange our new boots for old. Well, exchange our old boots for new boots. So new boots for old, it's like new lamps for old, but with boots. Or we will pay attention to what the villagers warned us and keep our own footwear, worn and weather-beaten though it may be, and continue onwards. It's such a strange trap. You might stop to ask, why does everyone only dump shoes here and nothing else? You continue on your way. After a while the ground underfoot becomes rather springy, and you sense a deep tremor moving up from the earth. The giant must be snoring. You hurry until you reach solid ground again. There the freezing moorland puddles and the sharp flinty rocks make you wish you had taken new boots. Each player loses a mere 1 endurance point. We are totally fine with that. And since we are losing 1 point each, you know what I should be doing? Healing. I'll make a 2-point healing roll this section. And ignore the previous few where I should have also done it. A 5. So that's 4. Spend 2, get 8. 6 back. After we've replenished our own. We'll give 2 to Brother Kern. And of the remaining 4... 1 to Remy. 2 to Sir Alwyn. And 1 to Brother Kern, so he may continue to replenish the party's health reserves. Oh, we are fighting already. Oh for something. Ogres? Oh, wait. Oh, we've passed the giant already. You continue up towards the Black Ridge, where dusk closes in and dark shadows begin to lie over the land. Just at nightfall you enter the courtyard of the castle. Suddenly the gate crashes to behind you, and you see dark shapes lining the shadowy doorways and battlements around you. You see the brutish, sweaty faces of creatures you believe to be ogres. You have no opportunity to flee as your escape route is cut off. However, we have some holy powder and wish to use it. Let us do this. This is a combat section, so we can't heal here, but this is not a combat section. You throw the dust at the nearest of your attackers. They stagger back, coughing and retching. Moments later, they fall to the ground quite dead. The others are disconcerted, but they are still coming for you. Ah, are we out of holy powder now? There's only 3 ogres now instead of 6. That works greatly. I'll go find some ogre portraits and something that looks a little bit like a castle courtyard. It is at this point that I would like to say that this entire quest feels rather too easy now that we have avoided the riders. We've avoided the great giant Snorid, whose name I've chosen to pronounce more rhyming with the word snore because he's sleeping, and also because of Snorri Sturluson, the famous Dark Ages scholar. Yeah, let's go with scholar. Had we not used the holy powder, which we should now remove, the ogres would have had a fighting prowess of 6, which is not that dangerous. They hit hard as the riders, and only have 25 endurance and 2 armor. They're not that dangerous. However, halving their number and causing them to be dismayed and disheartened, so they fight with a lower fighting prowess of 5, is really going to work in our favour. Barring the odd lucky hit, this should be a very good fight for us. That being said, we want to get in damage hard and fast. So, Remy will go first. He will move into the middle and strike at the central ogre. Remy, you have a sword. I hope you remember how to use it. Ah. Okay. Now the remaining heroes go equally. We will start with Sir Alwyn. He will rush to engage these 2 ogres, including one Remy should have struck, and assail the central one who is threatening Remy. Actually, the idea was that between the 2 of them they should have finished that ogre off. Leaving himself open to this one is not great, but we'll hammer this one hard. We've got a magic sword, it hits automatically. I might have to look closely at Book 2 again and check if the Fearless bonus is supposed to be a blessing and if it should be removed at the end of Book 4. Because at least then I'd still be making attack rolls at this point. For now, though, hitting automatically. Magic sword, do your work. Is 14, 12 points after armor, knocks him down to 13 endurance points. A very good start. And then wallop him. Slam him up against that statue there. Go on, you know you want to. Bosh! Our warrior knows how to fight. 3 more damage after armor reduces him to 10. At which point, Brother Kern will move to engage the southernmost ogre and strike it with his staff. Which he does. 6 points is only 4 points after armor, unfortunately. But it all adds up. You'll notice I'm going heavy on the attack here because their awareness is so low that I should be able to run round them as they fumble and swing clumsily. And I really need to try and kill one this round. While that was not the perfect kill, Ariadne has a sword thrust spell prepared. So we're going to try and cast that. We fail, making this round much more interesting. The first ogre will attack Sir Alwyn. And miss. The second ogre will randomize. Top to bottom as usual, and left to right. He attacks Sir Alwyn. And misses. The final ogre will also pick a target. He goes for our healer, Brother Kern, and misses. We're on to round 2. Remy will strike at this ogre because a sword thrust spell might not quite finish him off. That's a hit. 5 points is 3 after armor, not very good. But as combat is now simultaneous, we'll go to Ariadne. Will we? Brother Alwyn might be able to do those 9 points with 2d6. Yeah, okay. We'll go to Sir Alwyn. Make him current. And go for the armoured gauntlet to the head. See if we can just crush... No, get him by the throat and crush the life out of him. Oh, we got him by the throat. And crush the life out of him. Watching the light go out of his eyes, he'll cast him aside, pass the statue up against this outbuilding, and turning, strike with his sword at this one. It's the blood sword. It's not going to miss. 11 points of damage, bit of a low roll, 9 after armor. Puts him on 16 endurance points remaining. So far, it's going quite well. Ariadne will hold while Brother Kern administers another attack to this foe. That's a miss. Now she will make her second attempt to cast Sword Thrust, which is now a complexity level 2 spell. Was it level 2 already? Hang on. Sword Thrust is... Oh, one moment. Books. Oh, books. Book 1. Sword Thrust is a complexity level 2 spell. Meaning that last time she may have succeeded. Never mind. It's complexity level 1 now. On a d6 plus 1, we're going to get a 7 or less. We don't even need to roll it. She succeeds. We'll deal it to the ogre Sir Alwyn is fighting. 16 points. That's 14 to speed along its demise. It has 2 endurance points remaining. That is disgusting. Remy, you know what to do. Right, the ogre with 2 endurance points remaining will try to strike at Sir Alwyn in desperation and miss because he is so disheartened and dispirited to see his allies dropping, and because of the smell of the holy water and how it's sizzling and making him hack and cough. And the final ogre will pick a target. He goes for Remy. Excellent. 3 dice. And misses completely. New round. Remy, you got this. Remy skips across here to the wounded ogre by Sir Alwyn intent on skewering his gizzard with his non-magical sword. That is an unfortunate miss. We'll work on that. Okay. So Alwyn will stride down here to the ogre accosting Brother Kern. Magic sword to the head. 19, 17 after armor, knocks him down to 4 endurance points. Should have done the unarmored attack first. Right, 2d6. Yep, hits him. 2d6 plus 2. So obviously, he struck him for 10, then hit him with the blood sword to finish him off, because it's much more dramatic. Walked up, kicked him in the bum. As he turned round, skewered him in the throat. Which leaves Sir Alwyn to 1, 2, 3, 4. Come in and try and finish off this ogre. That's a hit. 6 points. Finishes him off, even with his little armor rating of 2. This feels like a suspiciously easy fight. And a suspiciously easy quest. It's almost as if we've been set up. In fact, the only real challenge in this quest so far has been the Dark Riders, who we could have probably avoided, and trusting the villagers. By placing trust in them, we've made things a lot easier. But what do the villagers stand to gain from this? Here's my thinking, right? We've come back into the past at a time when the Magi were alive. The past has already happened. And the Magi have challenged this man that he will stay here until this item can be fetched from the past. If we succeed, that item has already disappeared from the past. The Magi already knew it would disappear from the past, and they wanted it to be brought here. Essentially, as in they knew where it was going to come. So I do feel this is White Light attempting to use us for his resurrection. So we should not trust. However, this quest should be relatively short in the interest of getting back to the main one. This is like one of those Tunnels and Trolls side quests that's only 1 or 2 sections. Speaking of sections, the courtyard is littered with dead and dying ogres, but you have no sympathy for the black-hearted creatures. A large black stone keep rises up from the centre of the courtyard. Its gates are open, so you enter. I hope we don't need to use the holy water again later on. For now, that was a non-combat section, so Brother Kern will take a 3-point healing roll. Yes, a 3-point roll. Rolls a 4, spends 3, gets back 9, because it's d6 minus 1 now, not minus 2. So, with 6 points of healing, I think 2 points to everyone who's not Ariadne, because she's in relatively good shape. And I think that was a good call. You climb up the stone steps to the doors of the keep and into a dark entrance hall. The doors shut behind you with a hollow clang, seemingly of their own volition. You hear the fluttering of bats' wings above you in the rafters. Ahead is darkness. To the left is a stairway down to the cellar, and to your right a door. Before you can decide on your next move, you hear the sound of a door opening and shutting in the dark ahead. This is followed by the clump of heavy footsteps, which means, yeah, we should have probably saved the holy water for this, the holy powder, for this encounter. We'd better face what's coming. We could explore the side rooms and be trapped if they follow us. I think we have to face up to whatever this is. You walk towards the sound of the door. Also, non-combat section. We'll make another 3-point healing roll. I was going to go 2, we'll go 3. Spend free, get back free. Yeah, it's a fairly good allotment. Keep it as it is. A tall figure takes shape out of the gloom. It is ebon in colour, inlaid with a thin gold tracery like marble, but this is no statue. As its head moves to track your progress, its black skin glitters in your torchlight. Its face is uniformly perfect, an uncanny beauty that is unnerving in its artificiality. The eyes are twin orbs of shimmering gold. The thing speaks, its voice androgynous and toneless. I am the Castellan of Castle Blackridden. My master has sent me to discover what has disturbed his rest. Who are you, and why have you come? We have a trickster here. We could attack it. We could tell it we have come for the statuette of the Lady of Time. It may just direct us to it. But then obtaining it may be the difficulty. But Remy's here and he wants to try something. Now listen to me, Castellan, you say imperiously. I have been summoned here by the lord of this castle on a mission of great secrecy. He will not take kindly to me being delayed by the likes of you. You will take me to him immediately. The strange ebon being considers your words for a second or two, and then, much to your relief, says, Of course. Please follow me. And we'll make another 2-point healing roll from Brother Kern. Spend 2, get back 8. With 6 points, we'll give 1 to Sir Alwyn. 2 each to Remy and Brother Kern. And 1 to Ariadne, putting her back on 22. Those side rooms may have been worth exploring, and I suspect the creature would have waited for us. The Eborn automaton leads you up some stairs, past a small landing and through large double doors of beaten copper. You come into a large baronial hall, its walls hung with emblazoned shields and crossed weapons. At the far end of the hall is a huge iron throne on which sits a black-robed figure. The hood of its robes is thrown back, revealing a twisted demonic visage with glowing eyes and glistening fangs. From its robes 4 chitinous arms extend out, and as it stands you notice hooved feet. Behind the throne, in an alcove set into the wall, you notice the refulgent glow of the statuette of the Lady of Time. Well, we're in the correct place then. The side rooms could have been traps. However, as this is a non-combat section, we're going to go for another 3-point healing roll. Being a little greedy, you'll probably go for 2, spend a 3, get back 6. 3, 6, 9. So with 6 points healing, we'll give 2 to everyone who's not Ariadne. And as we are anticipating this may very well lead to a fight with a much more powerful foe, she should probably prepare a spell. Demon's probably got good psychic resistance. And no, we don't want to attack him and the servant. The automaton steps forward and speaks. My lord Anarcha, we come in obedience to your summons. I summoned no one, whispers the demon lord in a voice like the whistling wind. We could try and bluff our way out of this situation, or attack Anarcha and his servant immediately. Remy, I think you've got some explaining to do. Play for time, we might get a little more healing. We come with messages, my lord. Silence, snaps Anarcha. Your thoughts have revealed to me your true purpose. You have been set here by the True Magi themselves to guard against... I have been set here by the True Magi themselves to guard against such as you, and in obedience to their ancient command, I will destroy you. You must fight Anarcha and his servant. If you have the code word grammar, we do not. We are not the surname of that bloke from Frasier. Note the number of this entry and then turn to 454. So if we had gone to one of the two side rooms, we may have gained that. If not, get ready to do battle with Onaka and his automaton. There's no escape. Right. 347 by 347. Oh, that's annoying. I've got a lot of 5x5 rooms. I'll see what I can find. Back in a bit. Just when I was saying this quest seemed deceptively easy, far too easy in fact, this happens. Right. Now, before continuing, I did say Ariadne should prepare a spell for this combat, and I did say that the opponents were likely to have high psychic resistance, so some kind of blasting spell. You know what? I'm going to go all out and throw in a Nemesis Bolt. They're both going to go before we do, so what happens next will depend heavily on what kind of state we're in afterwards. So, Onaka has a fighting prowess of 8, a psychic ability of 9, deals 4 damage per blow, and has an awareness of 9 as well. He has an armor rating of 4 and 40 endurance points. Onaka will do one of 3 things each round, depending on a die roll. On a 1 to 2, he attacks the nearest opponent with 2 of 4 arms. This counts as 2 separate attacks with a fighting prowess of 8 against one target, each doing 4d6 damage. Flippin' heck, we could lose our warrior in the first round here. 3 to 4, spits acid at randomly determined target. Works as archery, so it requires a fighting prowess roll, but does 3d6 plus 6 damage. If we can get him spitting acid and missing all the time, that's great. As it's a randomly determined target, if it could be Remy every round, that'd be even better. On a 5 to 6, casts a spell. Onaka does not need any preparation time and is considered to have whatever spell he likes already in mind. Roll a die to determine the spell and then target if applicable. Night Howl, Sword Thrust, Mists of Death, Sheet Lightning, Nemesis Bolt, and Servile Enfrawlment. Order to attack comrades. This is weaker than the Servile Enfrawlment that the Black Riders had, because it's the normal version. And the Ebon Automaton has a fighting prowess of 9, a psychic ability of 12, so we're not going to use any psychic spells on it at all, deals a mere 3 damage per blow, which is great, has an awareness of 12, as in, look, 3d6 is better than 2 attacks at 4d6 each, has an armor rating of 7 and 70 endurance. That thing's going to take a hell of a beatdown to demolish. Every other round, instead of attacking, the automaton will release bolts of energy from its eyes at the character furthest from it. This works as archery, save the automaton can and will shoot even if in close combat. A bolt does 2d6 damage and armor counts. Oh, that's okay. Actually, that works really nicely for us, in a way. You cannot flee Onaka and his automaton. In any case, where would you go? If you win, you are one lucky bastard. Or playing with a smaller party of higher rank characters. This is going to be very difficult. You know what? This is one of those fights that could very well be death by initiative, and there's not a lot we can do about it apart from stand by and see what the enemies do. After their first round, we get a chance to try and fix things. The Ebon Automaton will attack Remy, because he's right there, and it will miss. That is a very good start. Onaka will roll a d6. A 3. Oh, that's good, isn't it? That's the one where he only makes 1 attack, spits acid at a randomly determined target. Okay, 1 for Remy, 2 for Sir Alwyn, 3 for Brother Kern, 4 for Ariadne. He goes for Brother Kern. Excellent choice. He hits, which is not so nice, and it's going to hurt. 17 damage. It's 15 after armor. Ow, that hurts a lot. Well, he'll be defending then, won't he? Right. Remy cannot move away from the Ebon automaton without getting struck again. He'd better try and hit it then. Just while he can. Fight, you know. That's a miss. That's okay, it's got a horrific armor value. So Alwyn should try and do as much damage to Onaka as he possibly can. So he'll hit him with the blood sword. Unfortunately, Onaka is a demon, he's not undead. But it's still going to do a healthy amount of damage. 13 is not that healthy, it's 9 after armor. But that does reduce him to 31 endurance points. You know what, maybe we should have gone attacked the Ebon automaton, because that would force Onaka to come to us. He'll take his second attack, which will hit for 2d6 plus 2, which is basically minus 2 after armor, so 4 more points. Okay, 27. You know what, though? That may still work in our favour. Brother Kern will defend. Ariadne will attempt to cast her Nemesis Bolt spell. It is plus 5, so chances are, well, you know, let's just pray. That is a successful Nemesis Bolt straight at Onaka, the lower armor value and lower endurance. Yep, I've cleared that already. Okay, fine, yep, because I had to reload a previous save. Nemesis Bolt is cast. 76 plus 7. 35. Kills him. That was his nemesis. Excellent. This becomes a much safer and shorter fight, as Onaka the demon is completely obliterated. We are grateful. And then the Ebon automaton will shoot rays of energy from its eyes at Ariadne, which is going to hurt. We're going to need to do some fiddly stuff soon. So, it misses. That's great. We needed that. Remy will hit it with his sword, and hopefully hit this time. Look, statues don't dodge. Okay, well, normal statues don't. It's got an armor rating of 7. I think I can tell where this fight is going now. "13 points. Perfect. Maximum damage is going to be 8 after armor. Knocks it down to 62 endurance points. The fact that this thing will shoot energy beams from its eyes is bad news. Is it the same damage? It's less damage. That's great. I think we need to all stand around it. Otherwise, it'll just keep pelting Ariadne, and she can't take that damage forever. Remy's landed a hit, so Alwyn will come and attempt 2 hits. First off, he hits it with the blood sword. 15 damage is 8 after armor, knocks it down to 54. Brother Kern will move 1, 2, 3, 4 to there. He is badly wounded. We probably can't afford to have him come in to attack. And this is where I demonstrate what I meant when I said I think I can see which way this fight is going to go. Because Ariadne is going to prepare a spell, and that spell will be the Eye of the Tiger. Round 3. The Ebon Automaton will attack someone. 1d2. Goes for Remy. That's good because he's harder to hit. That's not good because he's been hit. He's been hit for 7 damage, takes 2 off for armor, is 5, knocks him down to 19 endurance points. We will be healing heavily after... Right, so hang on. Whoa. Right, so here's the thing. If we defeat these, and we get the statue, and we are teleported straight back to Spyte, and we have a few options to go place the statue where we promised to, and then leave, or blatantly wait for the white magi to appear and kill him when he does, we're not going to get much time to heal after this fight, are we? It could be a very quick transition. And it could be going straight into another tough fight. That is really unfortunate, but there's not a lot we can do about it. Remy's been hit. Remy, please hit back. Remy does hit back. For 10 points of damage. Excellent. 3 points after armor. Yes, look, it's a statue. It's really hard. It's made of hard stuff. Everyone else is simultaneous. Now, I've already ruled that when Ariadne casts the Eye of the Tiger, she starts casting at the start of her turn. In her turn, she casts it. At the end of her turn, it comes into effect. Which means it's not fair for those heroes on simultaneous initiative to gain benefits through it this round, and it will kick in from the end of her turn. So Sir Alwyn will just shoulder barge it with his armoured shoulder, like the Horned Reaper in the Dungeon Keeper 2 intro against the hero I always referred to as Lord Mournblade. Because he actually got to wound the demon, but he was sorry for it afterwards. That's a hit. That's 7. Okay, that's bang on the armor value. Fine. Hit him with the sword. 16. Excellent. 9 after armor. Takes him down to 42 endurance points. We will be casting some high damaging spells like Nemesis Bolt soon. Wait, vampire spell's a psychic spell. Don't bother. It's got a psychic resistance of 12. Okay. Brother Kern will defend. Ariadne will attempt to cast the Eye of the Tiger, which is a complexity level 2 spell. So, massive chance of success. Bosh. The highest she could have rolled. 5 plus 2 is 7. Works. So, Eye of the Tiger round 7. 4, 5, 6, 7 is 4 rounds of... So, yeah. She could almost go in with her sword, but hell no, she's got no armor. Right. The Ebon Automaton will attempt to blast her. It does. However, this is rather tame compared to its physical blows. 4 points. She has no armor because she gave it to the Falcon, and I didn't pick up any extra armor from around the portal because there probably was some. Remy, hit it. It's a statue. It's not going anywhere. The fact that it's... Nope, that's a miss. It's flailing around and being hard to hit, though. It's just arms keep blocking in the way. It's not hitting any weak points in the architecture. Yes, I said architecture. Sir Alwyn, strike it with a big magic sword and do big magic damage. Actually, the sword's probably not that big. It's a scimitar, isn't it? Yeah. 16 is going to be 9 after armor again. Goes down to a 33. And then try to pummel it. Physical attack connects. 3 points after armor. Takes it down to 30. I mean, we're working this thing down. Brother Kern needs to defend. He's too badly wounded. He will be healing us after this. Ariadne has cast the Eye of the Tiger. She will now prepare a different spell. I forgot to clear her psychic ability from last time. Sword Thrust isn't quite enough. We're going to go Nemesis Bolt. It may take a while to get going, but there we are. The Ebon Automaton, it's round 5. We'll pick a victim. Any victim. Please, not the same one. It goes for the same one. At least Remy's a hard target. Hard indeed. Too hard for it to strike this round. That's the same number I think he rolled on 2 dice. Speaking of which, hey Remy, it's time to roll 2 dice and try and hit this statue. He hits this statue. 10 points is 3 after armor, knocks it down to a 27. And with Sir Alwyn's incoming attacks, the Nemesis Bolt might be a bit overkill, but armor still counts against it. So, take that, I'd say unarmed attack, but his armor practically is a weapon at this point. 2 points after armor, takes it down to 25, and the magical sword of life itself, 13 is 6 after armor. Have I been counting its armor as 9 occasionally? Not necessarily. So that takes it down to 19. Brother Kern will defend, and Ariadne will attempt to cast the Nemesis Bolt spell for the first time. Now, the odds of this are practically inverse to those of her casting Eye of the Tiger, which I completely forgot. So it takes an extra point of damage each from Remy and Sir Alwyn. Because obviously I was going for the party version, not the single version. D6 plus 5, not 2. Not 25. That succeeds. She rolled a 1. She rolled a 1! We're probably going to need some healing after this. Oh, magic power. Strike this statue into oblivion. 30 points of damage. Take off 7 for the armor. Is 23 of its 17. It is destroyed. And everyone will pray to the Lord in gratitude that they still live. On the instant that Anarcha falls, his body and all traces of his presence fade from reality. Nothing remains. You approach the alcove containing the statuette. Just above, hung on the wall, is a fine yew-bow with an ivory handle inscribed with runes of power. Beside it, in an enamel quiver, are 5 arrows of equal workmanship and power. They have magical qualities. The bow adds 1 to fighting prowess when using archery, and the arrows do 1d6 plus 3 damage when they hit. Much pleased, you reach for the statue, but first, we're going to make a 3-point healing roll. Spend 3 points, get 4 times 3, 12 points back. So we'll give those 3 back to Brother Kern, which gives us 9 more. He is so shagged, we'll just give them all to him as well. Puts him back up on 17. Obviously, Remy would like a magical bow. Quiver of 5 magical arrows. 1d6 plus 3. We are likely to need those at some point in the future. You know what, actually? We may be needing those really soon. The statuette will hopefully now fall into our grasp fairly easily. We've earned it. You pick up the statuette. Everything goes black for a moment, and all around you a cascade of whirling colours and blasts of energy fill your vision. Nausea racks you, and fear grips you like an icy hand around your throat. Suddenly you are back once more in a dark corridor in your own era, in the Citadel of Spyte. Before you, seated at the table, is Mayorg of Farantar. He leaps up. "You have done it! I cannot believe it! I am free at last!" His voice rises to a crescendo of madness, his eyes wild and staring. Then abruptly he is icily calm and says tensely, "Well? What are you waiting for? Put the statuette into the pattern! Hurry!" Beside you, on the floor, is a strange pattern of pentacles and arcane symbols. At its centre is a small circle of silver into which the statuette will fit perfectly. We can put the statuette in the circle or refuse. If we refuse, he will become angry and irate. He may slip up and tell us something. Curse us for failing to... Oh, hello, there's a... Oh no, that's on a previous page. The picture's all the way up there. Right, we've come all this way. I think we should refuse him, because we always sensed this was a trap and that he may be the Magi of white light. But by doing so, we could bring him into this reality and make him vulnerable. If we refuse, will we get a chance to change our minds? I say we refuse now. You turn and head for the door, which you now see at the far end of the corridor. No, you know what? That was cruel. That was really cruel. Okay, it was 120, wasn't it? There was no choice to go back on our decision. So I feel we should absolutely... If he is the White Magi, we'll just face the consequences. Yeah, look, we committed so far. We'll do it. You place the statuette in its place. Instantly, there is a flash of bright white light again. And the pattern and the statuette disappear into incandescence. It is possible that not all 5 of the Magi are evil. Although... Yeah... Moments later, nothing is left to mark their presence apart from your singed hair. Mayorg howls exultantly. Free at last! Free to avenge myself on the Magi! Abruptly he stops in mid-rant, staggering, and his skin begins to tighten across his skull. Let me guess, all the age is catching up with him. His hair is visibly whitening. I had not known my imprisonment had been for so long, he cries. I have long outlived my time, and now I am paying the price. No! Help me! There is nothing you can do. His hair is lengthening visibly. Even his clothes begin to decay before your eyes. His flesh begins to suppurate and split, shriveling horribly. He sinks to his knees, barely able to speak. In a hoarse whisper, he croaks, Even at the end, then, the Magi have cursed me, but I know you seek their doom. Avenge me, I will aid you. All the power that was mine when I mastered the way of wizardry shall now be yours. As I die, my strength will pass to you. So have I spoken. He slumps forwards, his eyes melting in their sockets. Maggots writhe across his body, feeding ravenously, devouring his substance. His breath wheezes with pain until even his lungs have been consumed. Power surges through you. Mayorg's words are true, and he has bequeathed you his strength. Each party member receives +5 endurance. Let's do that right now. Oof, that is pretty hefty. It's the first time we've had a permanent endurance modifier in this entire campaign. We have avoided a few. We've also avoided some permanent endurance losses. A warrior also gets +1 to all damage rolls. We'll add those in right now. Well, it seems he was not the White Archmage, after all. A sage, +1 to all healing rolls. Oh my god! Okay. Healing D6 minus nothing. That's how good his healing now is. A trickster, +1 to awareness. That puts Remy back on awareness 9 again. Or, you know, right up on awareness 9. And an enchanter, +1 to psychic ability. Excellent. That's really great. The maggots still writhe upon the body of Mayorg until nothing is left. Then they begin to form cocoons, and moments later 1,000 butterflies spring forth from the organic mire that was once Mayorg. Colours rich and varied like the rainbow fill your eyes in a blaze of glory. A sweet smell lifts your soul, and they flutter away out of sight. After a moment's reflection, you press on. The quest beckons. You go for a door at the far end of the corridor. And I think this is a good enough place to leave the episode. Woo! We've had some hard fights and gained a very worthy reward. I hope you've all enjoyed this episode. In all fairness, come on. Sir Alwyn would have insisted on doing the honourable thing and placing the statuette in place, but have his hand ready on his sword hilt, ready to smite down the white magi if he appeared. And I will look forward to seeing you all in the very next episode. I'm going to say goodbye for now, though, and cheerio, everyone. See you all soon.